It's funny how people say they want a fresh start. New city, new name, new life. But what they never say out loud is, sometimes, you don't actually want to start over. You want to undo the past. Like it never happened. But it did. And the blood doesn't wash off just because you got a better zip code. That's the problem with Paris. Too clean. Too beautiful. Too honest. So when I left Madre Linda behind, left love behind, I wasn't running. No, I was chasing. Searching. For the one that got away. You, Marianne. I told myself this time would be different. No cages. No obsessions. Just you. Pure. Real. Honest. But honesty is hard when your hands still smell like fire. And then there was her love. The funny thing about killing your wife is that it only really works if she stays dead. I thought I was free. That she'd burned along with the house. That Henry, my sweet boy, would grow up far from the blood-soaked pages of my story. But no! I should have known. Love always finds a way back. It started small. A note on my pillow. In handwriting I knew too well. You left the oven on. Again. Cute. Except I don't have an oven in this shitty flat above a butcher shop in Montmartre. The next day? A peach. One peach, on my doorstep. Love's signature. She used to say, "The world is ugly, Joe. But peaches are proof that something sweet can survive anything." I didn't eat it. I watched it rot on the counter for 3 days. It turned brown. Soft. But it never disappeared. Neither did she. At first, I thought it was guilt. Trauma. A ghost constructed by my own mind. Like Beck. Like Candace. But then I saw her. Really saw her. In the market. Red dress. No stroller. Just a basket full of plums and that same serene, manic glow she always wore when she was about to do something violent. I blinked, and she was gone. Of course she was. But the rot had already set in. And Marianne? She could sense it. She stopped meeting me at the cafe. Stopped replying to my carefully curated messages. A woman knows when something dark has stepped into the room. Especially when that darkness wears your last name. So now, I'm watching again. Waiting. Listening. For footsteps. For laughter. For the clink of a wedding ring against glass. Because if love is alive, she isn't just here for me. She's here for her. For Marianne. And this time? She isn't playing house. You know that feeling when someone knows exactly how to hurt you? Not with knives or fists or fire. No, something more intimate. They remember your tells. Your soft spots. The exact place where your guilt sits when you try to swallow it. That's what seeing her again was like. Love. She didn't come storming in. No drama. No blood. That's not her style, not when she's playing the long game. She came through the back door. Metaphorically. Maybe literally. It was after midnight. I'd been reading, trying to be the man I promised I'd be in this new chapter of my life. The one who doesn't kill for love. Who doesn't destroy what he desires. I even lit a candle. Romantic, right? Then, I smelled something. Peach. I turned around, and there she was. In the doorway. Hair longer. Eyes darker. Smile, same. "Hi, Joe," she said. calm. Like it hadn't been months since she bled out on our kitchen floor. Like I didn't set our house on fire with her body inside. Like we were still married. I didn't speak. Couldn't. She stepped inside. Closed the door. I missed you, she whispered. I wanted to run. To scream. To laugh. But what I did was worse. I let her walk up and touch my face. Her fingers were cold. You should have known, she said. You can't kill love, Joe. You tried. You really did. But we're connected. I pulled away. Finally. You're dead. Am I? She smiled. Or is this just what guilt looks like with good cheekbones? I told myself I was hallucinating. Stress. Maybe trauma-induced psychosis. Happens to guys like me. Guys who burn everything down in the name of passion. But she wasn't smoke. She sat on my couch. Crossed her legs. Picked up my book. You're still reading Dostoevsky. Cute. I stared at her, silent. She flipped a page. I'm not here to hurt you, Joe. That was a lie. The kind of lie love tells when she's still figuring out how she's going to hurt you. Then she looked up. Eyes sharp. I'm here for her. Marianne. I didn't say her name. Didn't need to. Love already knew. She always did. Does she know what you've done? She asked. Leave her out of this. She laughed. Come on. That's your whole thing. You say it's about protecting them, but you always drag them in. Beck. Candace. Me. She leaned forward. She doesn't love you, Joe. She just hasn't seen the real you yet. I clenched my fists. Love noticed. See? That's what I'm talking about. The twitch in your jaw when you get angry. You're still the same. I stepped toward her. She didn't flinch. You're not real, I whispered. Oh, I'm very real. Real enough to ruin your life. Again. Then she stood. Walked toward the door. But before she left, she looked over her shoulder. You've got a day, Joe. Tell her the truth, or I will. She closed the door behind her. I didn't follow. Because she wasn't bluffing. She never bluffs. I always told myself I was the protector. The watchful one. The man in the shadows doing what had to be done so the women I loved didn't have to suffer. But what happens when she becomes the shadow? I hadn't heard from Marianne in 3 days. No replies. No cafe visits. Her art stall in the alley behind Rue de Trois Frères? Closed. Not like her. She once painted in the rain because the brush strokes are more honest when the sky's crying. And now she was gone. No message. No trace. Just silence. But love? She was louder than ever. I found a note on my mirror, written in lipstick. My pulse slowed. Not sped up. Slowed. That's what happens when fear becomes clinical. Cold. Like a scalpel you sharpen every time you've been here before. I had to find Marianne. Now. I started at the library where she'd sometimes sketch. Nothing. Then her favorite park bench, still warm from the sun, but empty. Then, a noise. A phone ringing. Not mine. It was coming from the trash bin next to the bench. Inside? Her phone. Cracked. Still buzzing. Block number. I answered. No words. Just breathing. Then a whisper, Do you still think you're the hero? Click. Love. I stared at the phone. Blood under the cracked glass. Smudged fingerprints. Hers? Or mine? Hard to tell anymore. This wasn't about jealousy. Not really. It never was with her. This was ownership. She always said love was about becoming one person. But what she meant was, you disappear, and she gets to wear your skin. And now she had Marianne. I went back to my flat. Locked the door. Closed the curtains. And there it was. On the table. A peach. Again. Next to it, Marianne's necklace. I'd given it to her in secret when I thought I could finally be honest with someone. Not just about books or dead wives, but about who I really was. And now it sat there like a challenge. Like a knife. There were only two explanations. 1, love took her. 2, I did. And I just can't remember. No, that part of me is gone. Buried in Madre Linda. In a grave I dug with my own hands. I'm not that man anymore. Unless I never stopped being him. Unless love didn't come back from the dead. She never left. Maybe she's not a ghost. Maybe I'm the ghost. I looked in the mirror. Eyes sunken. Hands shaking. And behind me? A flash of red. A dress. Spinning out of view. Was she here? Or was I finally losing the plot? I don't know. But I know this, I've killed for less. And if love wants to play games, she picked the wrong character to resurrect. There's a reason I left the cage behind. It was a tool. A symbol. A sin. One I buried along with my promises to be better. To be normal. But monsters don't get to retire. They just wait. Quietly. Until the script calls them back in. And that's exactly what this felt like, a script. One I didn't write, but somehow couldn't stop performing. Love always knew my lines better than I did. That's why I followed the clues back to where it all started. No, not New York. Not even Madre Linda. I followed them underground. A wine cellar beneath a closed cafe in the Latin Quarter. Old stone, heavy doors, and a lock I could pick with one hand while my other gripped a crowbar. Funny how certain muscle memories stay with you. The air was thick. Stale. But not silent. There was a hum. The hum of a fluorescent light, one I knew all too well. The cage. She rebuilt it. God, she rebuilt it. Steel walls. Plexiglass. Books on the shelves. A mattress in the corner. And in the middle, a painting. Marianne's. Unfinished. But I recognized the brushwork. The color palette. The pain in it. Which meant she'd been here. Or worse, she was here. Looking for someone, a voice sang behind me. I turned. Love. No red dress this time. Just jeans and one of my old sweaters. She looked like home. If home was a crime scene you kept returning to out of nostalgia. I knew you'd come, she said. You always do. My mouth went dry. What did you do? I brought her here. She was never going to love you, Joe. Not really. You were just a story to her. A sad, tragic man with puppy eyes and secrets he keeps under the floorboards. I clenched my fists. You don't know anything about her. She smiled. I know she looked at you like you were broken. And you liked it. because it meant she might stay. She circled me like a predator. Or a partner. Do you know what she said before I put her in the cage? I didn't respond. She said she thought you were safe. That you were kind. She laughed. Kind. She let the word hang there, like a blade over my head. Then she pointed to the cage. Love shrugged. Inside the cage, on the mattress, lay another note. Just one word, run. My stomach dropped. I turned back to Love, but she was already gone. A lock clicked. The door behind me? Sealed. She didn't rebuild the cage for Marianne. She rebuilt it for me. And I walked right in. I never liked being trapped. Not the literal kind, anyway. But it turns out, the real cage isn't steel or glass. It's the one you build inside your own mind. The one made from guilt, obsession, and the desperate hope that love will fix what's broken. I sat on the mattress, the note burned into my skin like a brand, run. But run where? There was no door, no escape. Only the hum of the fluorescent light above, flickering like a heartbeat, steady, relentless. The door rattled. Not from the outside, but from within me. I thought of Marianne. Free? Or caught in some other cage I hadn't seen? I thought of Love. The woman who loves like a storm, beautiful, terrifying, inevitable. And I realized something. I'm not the hero of this story. I'm the villain. The man who destroys what he desires. The man who hides behind masks and books and good intentions. And yet, there's a twisted kind of love in all that destruction. Because love isn't always soft. Sometimes it's sharp. Sometimes it's fire. Sometimes it's a cage you never want to leave. I closed my eyes. And in the darkness behind my lids, I saw her. Love. Smiling. Waiting. Patient as a cat. Because she knows the truth I don't want to admit, we belong to each other. Forever. And maybe that's the real prison. Maybe love isn't about freedom. Maybe it's about surrender. And I'm ready to surrender. Because for the first time in a long time, I'm not alone. And that terrifies me more than any cage ever could.